the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico. Here among the ancient Mayan ruins of Chichen Itza stands the Great Pyramid of El Castillo. Built by the Mayan sometime between the 9th and 12th centuries AD, El Castillo served as a temple to the feathered serpent god Kukulkan. It is also believed to be the site of the Mayans' most important ritual, human sacrifice.
They would bring human victims up the stairs of their temples. They would cut out their beating hearts, and that would be the form of sacrifice the Mayans engaged in.
In the rituals, there was the central importance of blood sacrifice, that by shedding blood, they could empower their desire and be granted what they wanted. So there is a theme of blood that runs through this system of sacrifice, that blood must be shed.
Although ritual sacrifice is no longer practiced at El Castillo, worshippers still come to celebrate a time when the Mayans say god Kukulkan descended from the heavens to bring wisdom to man. They light fires to unite with the spiritual realm, perform sacred dances, and repeat prayers in numerical sequences to enter a deep state of meditation. But the most powerful ritual that takes place at El Castillo is a reenactment of Kukulkan's descent to Earth, a reenactment that is literally built into the pyramid itself.
The Castillo is a stepped pyramid with some outward radiating staircases, and these staircases have big high balustrades on them. And on the autumn and the spring equinox, the sun casts a shadow across the corner of this stepped pyramid, and you see the shadows of the steps on the staircase balustrade.
This is a model of the pyramid of Chichen Itza in Mexico. And every year on March 21st, when the sun goes up, directly on the stairway here is created triangles of light and shadow coming down the stairs, which represents God Kukulkan has descended to the humans. At the end, you see the face of God Kukulkan. On September 21st, it's the opposite. This time, when the sun rises up in the morning, God Kukulkan goes up the stairs and ends in a bright light up on the little temple, which means God Kukulkan visited the earthlings, teach them, and after a certain period, he disappeared again into the sky with the promise to return one day.
What we see happening in Chichen Itza is a light phenomenon. We really see technology being displayed here. We see that somebody engineered this so that each equinox, people would experience a stone serpent coming alive. There was a visual reminder of this connection to the gods.
It could be that not only are the Mayan celebrating their extraterrestrial ancestors, but it could well be that the ancient aliens who came to Earth instructed the societies that they helped to maintain a connection with them by performing certain rituals, celebrations at the appearance of stars, and keeping the story of the extraterrestrials alive in their legends.
The Kalahari Desert, South Africa. Here, the native San Bushmen hold elaborate fireside rituals lasting for hours into the night. During these ceremonies, their shamans perform what's known as a trance dance, through which they reach an altered state of being and access other dimensions.
The trance dance is thought to activate an energy in their body called Noom. And this energy opens a portal of sorts that enables them to travel into the spirit world. And when the Bushmen activate this energy, They're able to put their hands in the fire without being burned. They can see vast distances, and it's as if in every way, shape, and form, they're transformed into super powerful beings.
By accessing the power of Noom energy, it is believed that a shaman who can extract illness, see the insides of the sick, and travel out of their own body to the land of the gods.
This Numa goes up the body, and then often it goes out of the crown of the head, and that's usually when the out-of-body experience occurs, and they travel to the spirit world. I've seen a bushman put a coal in his mouth and he wasn't burnt. They'll put their heads in the fire, and although their hair might singe and even catch fire, their face won't be burnt. So something is happening with this Num energy. They call it boiling energy. It's almost like there's a vibrational change in their whole body and probably in their DNA in some way.
Could the so-called Noom energy really be inherent in shamans, accessed only while in a sort of dream state? And is it possible that the genetic makeup of these medicine men is what allows them to access other dimensions?
The San Bush people have a tradition that they are the first tribe ever created. They're the oldest people in the world. DNA tests have shown that they probably are, that all other cultures and all other peoples that spread throughout the world came originally from where the San people are now.
When we look at the San Bushmen and we see the clear genetic evidence that they are the primordial seed of human civilization and life on Earth, it is possible that their DNA is especially well equipped to have this potential to access these non-ordinary states of consciousness, which may in fact be a key to physically journeying into them, giving these people the ability to do things that most of us seemingly cannot.
Vatican City, Italy. Pope Benedict XVI walks down the aisle in St. Peter's Basilica, carrying a golden crucifix. Upon reaching the altar, he lifts the thurible, a metal vessel suspended from chains, in which incense is burned for purification. The Pope recites the Eucharist prayer, and then he and his congregation consume the consecrated bread and wine. They are, according to the most sacred laws of the Church, eating the actual body and blood of Jesus Christ.
In the Mass, the priest is empowered by the prayers that are said to energize the substance of the bread and substance of the wine such that it becomes transformed or transubstantiated, changed into the living presence of the body and the blood of Christ.
The Mass, the communion, the transubstantiation of eating the body of God allows us to ingest the divine energy. This is called mana, or magical energy. And the almost cannibalistic aspect of the ritual is crucial for atonement, which is at one-ment, to become one with the divine source.
In the New Testament, the second letter of Peter states that believers in this practice become partakers of the divine nature. They become united with God. The Roman Catholic Church adheres to this interpretation of communion so strongly that in the 16th century, the Council of Trent declared anyone who denied it subject to excommunication. And during the infamous Spanish Inquisition, non-believers were branded as heretics and were often burned at the stake. Or worse. But what does it mean to become one with the divinity? Most historians say the ritual of the Catholic Mass can be traced back to the Last Supper, when the act of Jesus serving bread and wine to his disciples during what was actually a Passover Seder created a powerful spiritual bond that must not be broken. But there are others who believe the Catholic Mass stems from a ritual practiced thousands of years earlier.
Scholars have speculated that the Mass was actually inspired by Egyptian mythology and a similar ritual that was done for the god Osiris. The idea is we take the divine substance, the body of the god, into us so that we are one with that transcendent energy.
The legend of Osiris tells how he was killed and dismembered by his jealous brother, then resurrected from the various parts of his body by his wife Isis. Egyptian priests reenacted this ancient event with a ritual involving clay and wheat.
The ritual has to do with making wheat cakes that resemble the pieces of the dismembered god, which are then hidden, and a woman playing the wife goes and finds the pieces, and then in the end the priests eat the pieces.
Those who ate the sacramental wheat cakes believed they had brought the god Osiris back to life within themselves. But where did early Egyptians get such a profound idea?
The question then is, are they mimicking things which they saw? And somehow it involved this transformation from a dead Osiris to a person who was regenerated. When we're looking at some of these rituals, really contact with the divine is a technology, whether it's spiritual or whether it's practical or whether it's to mimic extraterrestrials.
Could the Roman Catholic ceremony of eating the body and blood of Christ actually have its origins in the ancient Egyptian story of Osiris? And if so, does it suggest that the Catholic religion, like other ancient beliefs, has its roots in an extraterrestrial encounter?
A ritual is a participatory performance, and the main objective of a ritual is to communicate something about an underlying belief or an idea.
These ancient rituals coincided with the appearance of various constellations in the sky, various stars. All across the world in ancient societies, there was a belief that human beings were placed on planet Earth by the star people.
Mythology, like legend, has real history in it. There's a strong sense of connection to those sources when one enters into ritual. Our deepest yearnings are for things we cannot remember. We yearn for lost wisdom, lost possibilities. It seems we work toward goals we do not understand. And it seems we are driven by aspirations that are truly mysterious.
The ones who come from another world, our relatives, are the ones that bring the laws and the instructions and the ceremonies and the rituals here so that people will go through this process of evolution.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida, January 27th, 2014. A Peruvian-born shaman leads a group of participants in an ancient Andean practice. Known as a despacho ceremony, this ritual dates back thousands of years.
In Peru, despachos or jaiwas, which are offerings, have existed since the first pre-Columbian peoples settled the Andes and coastal area. A despacho consists of a ritual honoring with reverence our ancestral star relatives in the cosmos that has been guiding the evolution of humankind on planet Earth. Every time I perform a Pachacuti ritual, portals are open. Conduits between the earth and the sky are revealed.
It is believed that through ceremonies such as the despacho, shamans are in fact able to access these so-called non-local realms of being in the universe. It helps to unify those of Earth with those from the sky.
If shamans really are able to access these so-called non-local realms, how are they doing it? And who, or what, has chosen them to be the ones to communicate with beings from beyond our world?
I came into this shamanic tradition as a result of deep curiosity as a child. I learned from my two primary mentors in folk healing known as curanderismo the following. The spirit world is here with us. Let us celebrate through that portal to the stars. I was introduced to a universe in which seen as well as unseen relatives and allies and spirit helpers abound. And forming relationships with these spirit helpers was the foundation of my apprenticeship.
But who are the spirit helpers? Are they actual beings who exist in a realm most of us are unable to experience? Ancient astronaut theorists believe the answer may be found in the story of a famous Native American shaman. Bighorn Mountain Range, Wyoming. Nearly 10,000 feet up on a desolate peak that is only accessible during the brief summer months lies a structure known as the Bighorn Medicine Wheel. This massive stone circle measures over 75 feet in diameter and contains 28 spokes representing the lunar cycle. By studying the astronomical alignments of the stones, researchers were able to date the construction of the site to approximately 1200 AD. Although it is held sacred by over 60 different Native American tribes, just who built the medicine wheel remains a mystery.
So the Bighorn Medicine Wheel is significant to a lot of tribes because it has this connection to a lot of different traditions in terms of star knowledge and star power and ceremony.
According to the oral tradition of the Crow tribe, the 19th century leader Red Plume made a journey to the medicine wheel as a young man that shaped his destiny as a powerful shaman and chief.
The medicine wheel, you connect to particular constellations that are kind of like vortexes between certain star energy and certain earth energy. And the medicine wheel seems to be creating some place that marks the particular spot at a particular time where those star energies and earth energies and human energy come together.
During what the Crow tribe call his vision quest, Red Plume claimed to have encountered a mysterious race of beings he called Little People.
He was visited, he said, by these little men who then took him inside the earth into some kind of a vortex wormhole. There, they taught him secrets of medicine.
There are lots of stories about little people in Native tradition across the Americas. The little people come from another planet and they kind of play around with human beings, but they're also protectors of them, teaching them even through that playfulness.
Is it possible that this medicine man was actually meeting with extraterrestrials who then taught him some medical secrets and then allowed him to return back to his people?
These stories didn't originate in our ancestors' imagination. There is a core of truth to all those stories. And so those beings, are they in reality of extraterrestrial origin, something physical, flesh and blood? Absolutely.